What's good, portal people? Welcome to the April Energy Download. It's your girl, Rachel Ricketts, author, alchemist, and spiritual abolitionist, here with your monthly channeled message, co created with my guides, the Aurics. So let's get into it. There are 4 themes for March: rebirth and rest, surrender, also known as lay your weapons down, love over fear, and reconnect with nature. So, rebirth and rest is the first and dominant theme for April. We're still coming off of the intense and dense astrology and energy of March, of the energetic new year, of spring solstice, spring equinox, um, and eclipse season, which we are still in. So we're not the same people we were March 1st to today. And we are in a major rebirth. So what my guides showed me is this beautiful field of eggs hatching, like chicks hatching from their eggs, which is us. And there's like thousands of us. And what they showed me, what that means is those of us who've been doing the deep, important integration work, shadow work, personal transmutation, transformation work, those of us who are aware of and utilizing the energy of these times, we have been not sort of, in a rebirth. So we're like little chicks being born anew, coming out of the shell. And that's a beautiful thing independently and individually, but it's an incredible and powerful thing when so many of us are doing that work. So they and I really want to affirm those of y'all like myself who have been doing this work, for a minute, like decades, but especially like the past year, 2 years, and this year, as like the energies have been, more intense, more potent. So really wanting to affirm those of us who have been doing that work, because it's fucking hard. It's the hardest work there is to do. And it's the work that's absolutely critical to collective change, to a shift in collective consciousness, as I talk about in all my work, as I wrote about in my book, Do Better, Spiritual Activism for Fighting and Healing White Supremacy. So that's a beautiful, powerful, potent thing. And just a reminder of how beautiful and powerful and potent that is when so many of us are doing that work and come together. Like, that is how New Earth comes about. That is how this powerful shift in the earth and universe happens. And this rebirth is also very timely, right? Like, this is a month of Easter, and Ostera, and this was the time that Yeshua was resurrected. And, Yeshua coming out of that cave shocked the world. Like, that the healing work that we do is not just for us. It is for the world. It changes the world. And a lot of the inner work that a lot of us have been doing really changes the vibration of the planet, and it changes the vibration of the cosmos, because like it's all one and the same. So it's really beautiful, powerful, potent rebirth work, and it requires rest. Like, it takes a lot for us to be doing this work, and it's a lot for our bodies, for our 3D bodies, when we are jumping timelines at the rate and pace and the degree that we are doing. And when so many of us are doing that. And the more we do that, by the way, like, the more online, more psychic, more tuned in, more interconnected we become. And so we're more able to feel the energies of the collective, the energy, which is the energies of each other. And that is also a lot on our systems. So rest is still really, really required and important. And a really important message I and my guides wanted to share is like, it is spring now, and it's a sunny day where I am in this moment. And so um, there's a way in which we can feel like when spring comes that like, oh shit, it's go time. Like it's time for me to step out the cave. It's time for me to like bust out this shell and like kind of get to work, or like be productive, or to be in doing if I haven't been, or even if I have been, to be doing more. And just a reminder that like it's really important that we trust our bodies, that we trust ourselves and our knowing and our pace. So just because there's that like springtime energy and we will be feeling that, that doesn't mean that it is actually time for us to step out the shell. The shell has been broken, but we don't need to leave it yet. We don't need to come out of the cave yet. Or we can like dip a little toe out the shell, pop our little head out the cave for a minute, and then be like, not, I'm going to go back in, after an hour, a day, a week, whatever. We can like pop in and out. We can do whatever, however we need to move that supports who we are becoming and who we need to be, to support a shift in collective consciousness, to support ending genocide, to support equity and liberation for all. Yes, that's the goal. That's what we're here for. That's what spiritual abolition is about. What I'm about. That's what we're up to. And that means not feeling like we need to operate at the pace of capitalism. This is also peak time for folks who to move through suicidal ideation because of that contrast of like our inner states and the external world. So just clocking that, naming that, this can be an incredibly challenging time as that contrast increases, especially as the contrast happens with all the stuff and fuckery we're seeing sociopolitically, globally around the world. So please, please, please do rest. Do take really good care of yourself. We are rebirthing, whether we're aware of it or not. And rest is really important. So take good care. Okay, the second main theme is surrender or lay your weapons down. So this may sound counterintuitive to folks because of the like intensity of the ways that like everything that's not love is picking up in the world, and the amount of like fear and terror and just violence that is happening. And so my guides wanted to share that surrendering is required to face and release the outdated conditioning that is preventing us from an abolitionist, aka liberated world. So we need to surrender is required for us to address ourselves and the ways in which we need to support abolition in and for ourselves, such as our inner critic and inner judge, the ways that we critique and judge ourselves, and therefore the ways we critique and judge other people. So our inner cop, the ways we punish ourselves and long for punishment of other people, and hierarchical / binary thinking, like the ways we think other people are less than us, or the ways we think other people are better or more, like we platform people or make people our saviors, especially in these times when we feel so scared, like where we feel like this person is going to save me, or this belief system is going to save me, that something outside of me is going to save me. All of those things need to be abolished in order for us to get free. So surrender is really important, and my guides are showing me like a requirement for abolition personally and collectively. And they're also showing me that surrender is required at this time. Those of you who are going to be drawn to this message, many of y'all like me have been spiritual warriors / fighters like your whole life / lifetimes, and / our ancestors have been spiritual warriors and fighters. And so they're showing me it's time for us to lay our weapons down, which is not to say that it's not critical for us to fight. We are still fighting. We are still supporting New Earth and critical collective change, but we're doing it differently. Like what's actually needed now is to embody divine feminine, to understand and move from the knowing of who we really are, which is source, divinity, oneness, and that the shift that is needed at this time is actually energetic more than anything. So like we can talk about Trump and Musk all day, and of course there are actions and behaviors of theirs that we need to and should be discussing, but and equally important, perhaps more important, is to discuss the energies of Trump and Musk, because it's so much bigger than these little people. It's just so much bigger than them. It's not even really about them. It's kind of not personal at all. 1010 as I'm saying that. So, what are the energies that we're actually working with? Because what is required at this time is a shift in collective consciousness. It is consciousness that needs to change. And more of us are awakening. And part of why more and more of us are awakening is because those of us who have already awakened, the accelerated awakeners, like myself, like those of you who will be drawn to this message, are doing such deep, potent, important work that we're shifting the vibration of Earth, and that is supporting more awakening and a rising of collective consciousness. And when I say rising of collective consciousness, I mean reintegration, a re-embracing, a remembering, a rebirthing of the truth of who we really are, which is source, energy, love. It is love. So that gets us to the third theme, which is love over fear. So my guides are showing me that fear is a weapon of control, and 1111 as I say that, fear is a weapon of control, and so they want us afraid, and they're doing everything in their power to keep us afraid. And by they, I mean, the systems, the energy that is non-love. I don't talk about light or dark, but bright, shadow, and really what it is love. Love is light and not love. And so everything that is not love wants us afraid, because that keeps us stuck, that keeps us controlled and controllable. So the antidote to fear is love. And increasingly, the invitation here is to choose to be in and attuned to love over fear. This is increasingly important, my guides are showing me. And of course, it's increasingly difficult. It's easier to drop into a love vibration or choose love when, we feel settled, and when it's easier, more accessible to feel safe, when we feel more connected, when we feel, all of those things. So part of why we're experiencing the contrast that we're experiencing on the planet right now is like, how do we choose love over fear when there's so much uncertainty, when there's so much terror, when it feels almost impossible? Like, now is actually the exact time to figure out how we choose love. How do we embody love? How do we choose love? It's an opportunity for us to truly root into a love ethic and a vibration of love. And it's so important. I cannot stress enough how important it is to do our best. Okay, all of this is a practice, and we are human. To do our best to first just acknowledge when we're in fear, like, oh, I'm in fear right now. Is there an opportunity for me to choose love like 10% more in this moment? And if not, that's cool too. First step is just to like acknowledge when we're in fear. And then we can slowly, as we get into that practice, figure out how to choose love over fear over and over and over again. That becomes a muscle that we exercise. We prove to ourselves that that's even possible. We get to see what we co-create in reality when we do that. And that creates a massive shift for ourselves and our personal lives and globally. All of the genocide, violence, discrimination, oppression, all the fuckery we're seeing in the world is a result of love, of fear, right? If we as a collective chose love over fear every time, we wouldn't see the shit that we're seeing. If we knew who we are, which is love, which is divinity, which is source, which is interconnectedness, which is one, there's nothing that I can do that does not impact you, and there's nothing you can do that does not impact me. We are one. Even when you are, oppressing me or enslaving me, impacts you too. When we know that and embody that more and more and more, when more of us do that, like all the eggs hatching together in the field, the world completely changes. And this work is not just for the earth, it's for the universe. I've talked about this before. Those of us who chose to come, anyone who's on the earth right now, we chose to be here at a critical, unprecedented time. And I fucking hate saying the word unprecedented because we say it every second, but it's true. Not just for earth, for the universe. For the universe. Yeah, more on that in another video. Okay, lastly, they showed me importantly around being able to choose love over fear, reconnect with nature. And this is sort of this is like an offering of how to support ourselves at this time that they shared. Being in and with nature supports vibrational attunement and alignment with love, because nature vibrates just naturally, organically. It is the vibration of love. Um, and oftentimes being in nature supports us. That's why nature can be so calming. If you measure brain waves, you'll notice they track that when people are in nature, it literally shifts our brain waves. We go into a more meditative, more relaxed, more rooted. That's what the word grounding is grounding for a reason. We feel grounded when we get to actually have access to true nature ground, not like concrete. Um, so yeah, being in nature as much as we can, connecting with plants, animals, and kiddos, we're including in nature. And I just want to clock that nature is not accessible to a lot of people for very intentional reasons because they don't want us grounded and rooted, right? Reconnected. So if you don't have access to nature, if you have access, if you can buy flowers, if you have house plants, like being really intentional with like talking to them, like meditating with them, asking them questions, asking them for answers, solutions, help, guidance, being really intentional when we water them, um, playing with animals, your own animals, the neighbor animal, going to a like petting zoo, I don't know, kiddos, your own kiddos, or friends' kiddos. I was at the park yesterday, also connecting with our inner child. So I went to the park yesterday and I was on the swing, and there was this little boy on the swing next to me. Shout out to Aiden. And we were just having this really cute time of like, he was like waving at me while I was swinging and I was waving at him. And it was just so nice to be in the energy of, like a little baby, and to like be able to play in a way by us doing this waving game. And then while I was on the swing, I also saw there was this really cute golden retriever out at the park with the owner. And I was just like, oh, like animals are just so smart, they're so wise, even dogs, but more cats. Um, and then at the end of my swing time, the dog came over to the baby, and the owner was like, oh, does the baby want to play with the dog? He can do that. He's, whatever, he's safe. And then they were playing together, and it was just like, oh, it was so sweet. And we miss those opportunities a lot to like be intentional about how that can have an impact and be of support to us. So any ways in which you can, even if you just see like a little plot of grass like down the block, or if you have like there's a random tree somewhere on your street, just to be intentional, like, oh hey, you're a tree, you are important, you matter, you have roots, you have information for me, being intentional about how we can connect with nature, with plants, with animals, with babies, is really supportive to us vibrating, um, and tuning to this vibration of love. And those of us who are accelerated awakeners, who are doing that more and more and more, we, being in nature with plants, animals, babies, supports us because those folks are meeting us more where we're at now, which can be harder with adult humans. Yeah. On that note, I also wanted to share, and my guides wanted to share, that like those of us who are, as I said, accelerated awakeners, or like expedited expanders, um, we will notice now more than ever and increasingly that, the more we embody love and vibrate at the vibration of love, which is our ascended, you know, original, authentic state, the more people won't know how to be with us. It just activates a lot of people. And that's kind of by design. It's kind of meant to activate them. But folks who are not there yet, or who are not, um, expanding or awakening to the same degree, if not same pace, uh, will notice more of a disconnect, and the disconnect will happen faster and faster and faster because timelines are just accelerating now in ways they haven't before. So this includes like your closest loved ones. Even you might just notice like, whoa, all of a sudden just like not a vibrational match. And this is also because we're more online, we're more tuned, we're more psychic to shit that's going on. So like energetically, even if everything seems completely fine on its base, it's just like energetically something's off. So I want you to know, my guides want you to know, you ain't losing it. You're just more attuned. And if it feels off, it is. So you'll probably notice more people acting wonky around you. So shower them with compassion and grace. But more importantly, I think, shower yourself with compassion and grace during this time, and know that you're not alone. Reconnecting with nature is an antidote to that. and knowing that there are other folks, so many other folks. Like I said, there's fields of thousands and thousands of us who are doing this work. You just may not see them, who are matching your vibration as well. We just may not see them as much as we would like. I am one of them, though. I am here. I love you. I'm going through this too. It ain't easy. So yeah, please know you're not alone. Please know you are loved. I love you. Okay. That is the April energy download. Thank you for trusting me to share this and to receive it. Anything that doesn't resonate, just leave. I hope it serves. I hope this finds exactly who it's meant for and misses everybody else. I love you. I am you. A new video will be up here soon. Until then, keep it real, spiritual. Bye for now, babes.